Well, Snyder fans, you won. You bitched and you moaned for years on end for DC to release the Snyder Cut of the Justice League film, and finally it's been seen by the world. Was it worth it? Meh, it was pretty good. I'm Mr. Divery, and this is One Geek's Opinion. Before I get into it, I want to acknowledge I try not to post videos unless I'm giving an opinion that's new or unique, or at least from a unique perspective. I liked Avengers Endgame. I think Cobra Kai is super awesome. And the last season of Game of Thrones really sucked. I don't need to say any of this when everyone on YouTube has already said it. Although I do have at least one Game of Thrones video in the works, it was actually supposed to be up before this one. So do I have anything unique to say about Snyder's cut of the Justice League? Probably not. It was pretty good. That's what everyone's saying. What I bring to the table is, I never saw the Whedon cut. I have the distinction of being one of the few people who went into the Snyder cut fresh, not clouded by how I felt about the theatrical version. So here we go. First, gotta talk about the length. It was long. Everyone knows it was 4 hours, but my God, that's a time commitment. Thankfully, you could watch this from home because my bladder could not do this at the theater. And I know a lot of the time was additional footage added by Snyder. One of the positives of this film is it does a lot of world building and character development, showing off different aspects of this universe. But I'm willing to guess the majority of that extra runtime was devoted to slow motion. Anytime anything big happens, the characters do it in slow-mo. It starts to get a little bit obnoxious near the end. And the irony being, the fastest man alive was the most guilty of this. It got to the point where I was dreading scenes where the Flash is running because it meant a slowdown of the action. Something that's supposed to take the Flash 1 second usually takes 5 minutes of screen time. And that's how we get a 4-hour movie, folks. Next, let's talk about cinematography, specifically coloring. Snyder likes his muted colors and overexposed lighting. I would say the biggest difference between the Snyder comic book films and the MCU is the MCU films are more colorful. The MCU looks like stuff that's happening in our world, while the Snyder films and Justice League in particular look like it's happening in a digital film. On the thematic level, this works well for Snyder. He's going for a darker, grittier style of storytelling, but a little color balance wouldn't hurt either. Plot. It has a plot. Superman's dead. Bad guy named Steppenwolf wants to get the 3 magical thingy-mabobs so Darkseid can take over the world or galaxy or something. It's not a special plot, but it's a simple plot that allows the heroes to do their thing. I would rather a simple plot that works than a complex plot that makes no sense. I'm looking at you, Man of Steel. Okay, on to the characters. This is where the film kind of shines. Wonder Woman. Of all the things DC has done poorly since this round of films, Wonder Woman is the one constant thing they get right. She's beautiful, graceful, and powerful. She doesn't really have an arc here. She's kind of just there to help get the team together. Although the Amazons have a cool opening battle scene, and the ladies are really tough. The scene starts to get a little silly when it feels like they're playing football with the mother box to keep it away from Steppenwolf, but the Amazons are badass. This one chick has like 10-pack abs. Aquaman. Aquaman continues to be great as well. He's also kind of just there, but he's initially the most reluctant to join the team, so it's interesting when he finally gets on board. Jason Momoa is just a charming, charismatic actor. He has a huge future ahead of him. Cyborg. If any character had the most development, it was hands down Cyborg. You could almost say he was the star of the film. There's a bit of awkwardness in that so much of the film is about people's reaction to Superman and saying Superman's going to be the savior of humanity. It actually feels like that's what they should be saying about Cyborg. He was the most powerful character in the film. He's basically Skynet, but for good. I would watch a whole movie about Cyborg. Flash. So I started to get annoyed anytime Flash would run because it would literally slow down the movie. But other than that, he was a fun character. He was the clear comic relief character, but not so much that he became annoying. He's actually rather endearing. Where everyone else on the team is a super badass, he's the Peter Parker. He's the normal guy you relate to. A little more ADD than most of us, but he's just a regular dude. BTW, there's one scene where the team is helping people escape from Steppenwolf, and Flash is shown moving at super speed, not in slow motion. It was so refreshing. If you're going to do Flash, mix up the visuals on speed. Batman. I made a whole video on why Ben Affleck would be a bad Batman. I would say he's definitely grown into the role, and I kind of think they owe him his own film. After the super brooding, dark version of Bruce from Batman v Superman, this was a nice version to see. Bruce was still serious, but he wasn't depressing. He wanted to form a team for a reason, and his affection for Superman really shined. And so did his awkward, semi-romantic moments with Diana and his mentorship moments with the rest of the team. In the past, I literally said Affleck could not pull off Bruce Wayne, but he might be the best one to date. Get that Twilight kid out of here. Ben is my Batman. Hashtag Batfleck forever. And then there's Superman. I'm sorry if this is a spoiler. Superman's in the movie. I mean, he's on all the posters. Everyone should know that. Superman, Superman, Superman. Dear Zach Snyder, is it that you can't learn or you won't learn? Snyder does not get Superman. He doesn't want to show Superman being Superman, but he built the whole movie around the premise of everyone looks up to Superman. Even Flash says, Superman is my hero. Here's the thing. The first Flash scene we see in slow motion, Flash save a woman's life. We see it. With Cyborg, we see him use his powers to help a poor woman get money. We see it. With Superman, we don't spend a lot of time seeing him be heroic. We see him being mighty. The main plot of the movie is the Justice League needs to bring Superman back in order to stop Steppenwolf. And when Superman gets back, what does he do? Punch Steppenwolf in the face a lot. I would say the best scene in the film is when Superman is fighting with the Justice League. It showed off all their powers in cool ways, especially Superman's. It was cool, but it wasn't about Superman being awe-inspiring. It was about him being strong. And that's all Snyder gets about Superman, that he's powerful. And he seems to think that's what makes people look up to him, which is why evil Superman is really the story Snyder wants to tell. So while I like the majority of the team, Snyder swings and misses with Superman. Again. In closing, although the film had problems, overall I enjoyed it. Dare I say something that will anger many people on the internet, including time-traveling me from the past. I like Snyder's Justice League more than I did the first Avengers film. Although, to be fair, I wasn't crazy about the first Avengers film. Both were pretty generic stories about a group of diverse heroes coming together to fight against a big bad. But oddly, Justice League was the more coherent of the two. Wow, talk about words I never thought I'd say about a Zack Snyder film. Ha! I knew it! I knew you'd finally admit I'm the greatest filmmaker of all time! Calm down, Snyder. I liked one movie you directed. I still hated Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and the less said about Sucker Punch, the better. So, that's my thoughts on the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Let me know in the comments if you think the things I liked and disliked were based on Snyder's vision, or if you think I'd feel the same way after seeing the Whedon cut. I hope Warner Brothers will learn the right lessons from this and starts making movies about story and character and not just CGI fights. But that's just one geek's opinion.